Hi, today we are going to do investigation 3, and we're talking about multiplication patterns, area and squares and square roots. By the way, squares and square roots is something that generally they don't teach until much later, but because we have Saxon Math, you start learning it right now, and it's really nice and it's very handy. So let's begin. We need to talk about an array. It is just a pattern of multiplication. This is, I'm going to get this suggests the rows and this suggests the columns. So rows, columns. And so when we're looking at 3 times 5, we can go 3 rows and then 5 columns. Some people are really nitpicky about this. So I want you to understand clearly rows, then columns. Here we have an array, and we're going to work on this. How many rows are in this array? I can see 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put 3 rows. Hopefully my pen is deciding to work. 3. How many columns are in this array? I'm counting this 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to write this 4 columns. How many x's are in this array? Now we could do some multiplication on our own, or you could actually count, but I know that we have 12 x's. And so that leads us to creating a multiplication problem or a multiplication sentence. 3 times 4 equals 12. Our next thing is to draw an array of 12 x's in 2 rows. So I'm going to come over here. You guys get to see here is an array of 10. We're going to draw an array of 12 x's in 2 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to come back again and write my next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many columns of x's are in the array that you drew? Well, if we're having, appears that we have 6 columns. And so our multiplication fact for this is going to be 2 rows and 6 columns give us 12. Here we have an array of 10 x's. Which 2 factors of 10 are shown by this array? We know that one of the factors is 2, and we know that the other factor is 5. Can you draw a rectangle array of 10 x's with 3 rows? Can I draw a rectangle? Let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can get the shape, but we are unable to draw an array of 10 into 3 rows because 3 is not a factor of 10. So no, we can't do this. Can we draw an array of 10 x's with 4 rows? Let's try. 4, 1, 2, 3. Wait, these are columns. Hang on, guys. I've got to erase. We can try, I'm erasing here. We can try doing this. But as you can see, if we do 4 rows, see, I'm turning on my pen again. As you can see, with 4 rows, 4 is not a factor of 10 either, so we cannot do this, even trying that. Now, let's try this again. Can you draw a rectangular array of 10 x's with 5 rows? 1, 2, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, guys, I'm a little mess. Yes, we can, because we know that 5 is a factor of 10, so it is possible to do that. Now, draw x's in 3 rows and 6 columns, and we've got to write our multiplication fact. So here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because they want 3 rows and they want 6 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this represents the multiplication fact of 3 times 6 equals 18. And I remember this by thinking this is an adult. When you're 18, you get to vote. So this is my adult multiplication fact. Now, another example. The chairs in a room were arranged in 6 rows, 4 chairs in a row, and they want you to draw an array. So take a minute, pause it, and draw an array. Let's see if we look the same. Okay, guys. Oh, I'm going to just scratch this out, guys. Two, three, 4. Okay. With 13, 6 rows. Guys, see, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. Help me out here. Okay, so we should have 6 in each row. There should be 6 rows, 4 chairs, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bear with me. Yours will look better. I'm having problems with my pen. So, and our array is going to be 4 rows and 6 columns, and it will give us 24. And now, an area model is an array of connected squares. This is how we determined area of a rectangle. How many squares are in the rectangle that are shown? You can count this, and you will note that there are 24 squares, and we use this for 24 square units. They want you to refer to lesson activity 20 for problem 16. I'm just looking in my paper. We are going to, this would be found in your book. And so if you can refer to your book, they want you to get a sheet of grid paper and outline it. I will be providing that, so you'll have that. How many, now let's go with outline an 8 centimeter by 3 centimeter rectangle. How many small squares are in the rectangle? What multiplication fact is illustrated by the rectangle? Our first one, 3 by 8, is going to give us 24 small squares, and we will view this as 8 times 3 equals 24. Now they want you to outline a rectangle that is made up of 24 squares. Make the rectangle 2 centimeters wide. So how long is the rectangle going to be? It is going to be 12 centimeters. What is the multiplication fact? We would say 12 centimeters times 2, and that gives us 24. And now trace this paper with your finger. Rub the area with your palm of your hand. When you're tracing around it, that is the perimeter. The area on it, that is your area. And to measure that flat area, you can divide it up into groups, into squares. And that will give you the square area, the area for a rectangular surface or a square surface. So let's look at an example here, number 19. How many square centimeters cover the area of this rectangle? We can look, and it is 6. There are 6 square centimeters. Okay, friends, I'm going to pause, and we're going to jump into part 2 for recording purposes. So stick with me.